Hey Ignite, welcome.
I'm so glad,
So glad.
The most glad.
that you're here tonight, right now, live. How's everyone doing during quarantine?
What else have you guys been doing during quarantine?
I'm in the process of watching a bunch of shows right now.
I've gone to the beach, I've gone on lots of walks.
I think I've watched Parks and Rec, The Office, Gossip Girl, All American,
So we went through 2 water slides.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, Avatar's so good.
We built a pool in our backyard.
Outer Banks, so good. Survivor,
I've been trying to get Tag to do a TikTok with me. He hasn't gone for it yet.
all the Avengers movies, all the Star Wars movies, and all of the Lord of the Rings movies. Okay, well, do you guys want to say your shows? Or
We love you guys. We hope you're hanging in there during this quarantine. Who knows when it's gonna end? That is completely out of our control. But we're enjoying every single day we have. We hope that you are too.
Hey, so instead of just sitting in your room every day, there are some ways for you to get involved, to go outside and help someone else instead of just being cooped up and binge watching every single day. So here is how you can get involved.
Are you listening, Molly? No more binge watching.
I'm convicted.
So tomorrow you can get involved by bringing some kind of food that is made, like a casserole or something else that you would like to give to a family that does not have a lot of food.
You can also handwrite a card. Write a note to a family. Our church will deliver it to them, and it's gonna be from you.
So I really need to stop binge watching. So you guys probably do too. It's a great opportunity to just get involved in our community.
For more information about this, look in the comments below. There is a link that gives information what Journey of Faith is doing.
We're about to hear from one of our 8th grade students.
She is so awesome and sweet.
She's a really good friend of mine. I'm excited to hear it.
Like, hello, Ignite. This is Ashley Deal reporting live with the magician, Daisy, and myself. We're both magicians. To start the night off, we're gonna have a magic trick. Oh, cute giraffe.
Right?
See that? Wow, magic tricks.
Magic tricks.
You want everyone? Do you want more? Daisy.
Ah! Uncle, uncle.
Daisy, give us another magic trick.
I can turn this giraffe to blue. Give me a second. Ready?
That's incredible.
I'm a magician.
Oh, I can do another magic trick. Do you want to see one?
Yes.
I'm going to make myself disappear. 1, 2.
I saw your arm.
Me!
Round of applause for Ashley.
Ignite, you thought you were getting an interview. Let's go ahead and go to the interview portion, not the magic show portion. Daisy, tell us who you are, your name, where you went to school, or you're still going to school, where you're going to school, and what you love about Ignite. I don't know, something about yourself.
Okay, my name's Daisy. I go to school at PVIS, and next year I will be going to PVHS.
You also, I feel like I've heard, do you go to the Torrance campus?
Oh yeah, I do. That's a big thing. It's way better than
I'm going to put that in this because
Fist bump. Fist bump for Torrance campus. Let's go. That was good. That was it.
what do you like most about Ignite or the Torrance campus or anything like that?
My favorite part about Ignite, probably, I love the worship, and everyone there is super cool, like all the leaders, and the connections you make, not only with like Jesus, but with the people there too, and the friendships that you build, that you have the common ground in, which is really nice.
Yeah. You're in a small group, right?
Yeah, my small group is the best.
Why is small group important to you?
I like small group because you get to talk about the message, and then you get to know each other and understand each other more, and then you can learn off of each other from like other people's perspective on certain things. And it's also nice to have a group of friends that, because none of them go to my school, so it's nice to have a group of friends that don't go to my school but I have similarities to.
I think that's so good, Daisy. What has been your best part of your middle school experience?
My favorite thing about my middle school experience was probably the friendships that I made, and I really enjoyed how involved I was with my school, and it was so fun.
If you could give us some words of wisdom to a 6th grader or a 7th grader, what would your words of wisdom be?
Probably always stand firm in your faith, because at the end of the day, it's your relationship with God that's going to always be there for you, and he's the one that's always going to be there for you no matter what you go through, and not your friends and the friendships you make. I mean, it's great to have friendships and everything, but you should always make God your number one, because he's going to protect you and keep you safe and love you unconditionally through everything, whereas friendships come and go, and it's just put your faith in him. And even when you may feel far from him, that's the biggest test in your faith, is still knowing that he's there and acting to not make him come back, but make him feel more present, if that makes sense. And that's going to be the biggest test, but it definitely pays off in the end.
Yeah, you nailed that. Literally, that was perfect.
See, I could be you.
No, because that's so true, right? God is
Yes.
there even when you don't feel him.
Yeah. I could have just said that and it would have made way more sense.
I love
What is that even when you don't feel him?
Well, that wraps up our interview. Daisy, I am so thankful for you. You are so sweet and so wonderful, and Ignite is so blessed, and I know you're going to love Amplified next year as well. So this wraps up our interview. We are now going to be going into our message from Nick tonight. So Nick! So check it out.
Some of the people who have made the biggest impact on my life were younger than me. Now, why do I say that? See, we're in a series called If I Knew Then. And we're kind of looking about, with the knowledge that I have now, what do I wish I would have known earlier? So we've been asking our seniors, our 8th graders with this question, if you could go back, if you could tell your 6th grade, your freshman, sophomore self, what advice would you give? And so we're even tackling that question. If I knew then, what advice would I give to myself, to you guys, with the knowledge that we have now? And if I'm being honest, I was thinking really hard about this question, and I wanted to make it make my answer really good. But I was thinking about this question, wondering what would I have told myself then? What do I wish I would have known earlier? See, I wish I would have known sooner not to disqualify myself from being used by God. Now, what do I mean by that? How have you disqualified yourself before? See, we all have the ability to make an impact in other people's lives and an impact for God, but we tend to disqualify ourselves for certain reasons. How have you disqualified yourself today? Maybe it's you don't think you know enough. I don't know enough of the Bible to truly make an impact for God. Or maybe it's the experience that you don't have. I just started coming to church, or I don't know what to do. See, one of the most common things that I hear, and one of the most common disqualifications that I hear that students make is, I'm too young. You think you're too young, or you lack a certain amount of experience or time that truly makes you available to be used by God. I've said it before, and I even say it now. See, we disqualify ourselves because of our age. And see, my advice for you today, and something that I wish I would have known way sooner, is not to disqualify yourself from being used by God, especially because of your age. Because in fact, if we look at the Bible, God tends to use young people in incredible ways. Here's what Paul, one of the earliest church leaders, one of the most important church leaders in all of church history, wrote the majority of the New Testament. Here's what advice he gave to Timothy, who is this really young pastor in charge of this like mega church. Here's the advice that he gave to this young person. In 1 Timothy 4:12, it says, "Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." He's saying, don't let your age be a disqualifier for you to make a true impact for God. God's going to be the one to qualify you. So don't let anyone look down on you because of your age, but set an example. In fact, if you look at Jesus' life, Jesus came down with a mission, and he assembled a team of disciples around him in order to accomplish that mission. And if we think about just the monumental task that the disciples were about to embark on, I think, or it makes sense to believe that Jesus would have gotten the best people on his team, the people with the most experience, the most schooling, the most knowledge, and the most experience and age that he could. But in fact, it's the exact opposite. See, he chose young people. He chose young people who are going to flip the world upside down. And we are standing here today, even 2,000 years later, as a result of the faith of young people. Most people think that the disciples were teenagers. The disciples were your age. And Jesus came down with a mission. And he's like, who am I going to assemble on my team to accomplish that mission? Teenagers. See, teenagers, those who might have disqualified themselves, might have said, no, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't have enough experience, I'm not old enough to be used by God. Those who might have disqualified themselves, that's who Jesus said, you're on my team. And we are standing here today after the world's been completely flipped upside down as a result of young people, as a result of teenagers. See, they recognize that they could be used by God, and it is God who qualifies them. They didn't disqualify themselves. See, man, I wish somebody would have sat me down sooner and told me that age isn't a qualification, that experience, that knowledge is not a qualification, and not to disqualify myself from truly being used by God and impacting those around me. So today, I want to ask this question: how have you disqualified yourself? And I want to redefine the qualifier. See, I want to look at and to put an end to the voices and doubts inside our head that tells us we can't be used by God. We can't make an impact. And here's why. See, I love this passage in 1 Corinthians 13. Paul, he redefines what qualifies you from truly being used by God and puts an end to those doubts in our heads. So in 1 Corinthians 13, chapters 1 through 3, it says, if I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that can move mountains, but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. See, Paul in this passage, he's redefining what qualifies you from being used by God. And I love that language. He's saying, I can have all these things. I can have all this knowledge. I can have all the knowledge in this world. And I can even have a faith that can move mountains. But if I didn't love others, all of that is nothing. See, he's redefining what actually qualifies you from being used by God. And that's how well you love others. And I wish somebody would have just simply sat me down and told me that it's not age that qualifies you, it's not your knowledge, it's not your experience, it's how well you love others. And I wish somebody would have sat me down and told me, you can make an impact right now by how well you love others. See, don't let anyone even yourself, disqualify you from truly being used by God. I hear it all the time. I'm not old enough. I don't know enough. I don't have enough experience. Whatever it is, whatever voice inside your head, whatever way that you are trying to disqualify yourself, I want to redefine what qualifies you. And it's God who qualifies you. See, don't let anyone look down on you. Don't let anyone say that you can't make an impact. You can. So I'm asking you, not only how have you been disqualifying yourself, but what have you been disqualifying yourself from? See, all of you have so many passions and just these ways that you feel like you can make an impact, but you have disqualified yourself in the past saying, I don't know enough. I'm not a great speaker. I don't know enough people. I don't have enough, I'm not old enough. How have you disqualified yourself? How have you disqualified yourself? And what have you disqualified yourself from? See, maybe it's starting a Christian club or reaching out to that person that you don't know, or reaching out to your group of friends, but you're scared of rejection, whatever it is, this fear. You've disqualified yourself because you don't think that you're equipped. See, if we know anything from this passage, Paul is not only saying don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example. And he says, here's what qualifies you. It's not how much you know. It's not how well you speak. It's how well you love others. And man, how different of a life I would have lived if somebody would have sat me down and spelled that out for me. If somebody would have told me, Nick, you don't have to be this age to make an impact. You don't have to have this degree to make an impact. You don't have to have all this experience or knowledge. All you have to do is love others. I'm going to be the one to qualify you. See, how have you disqualified yourself in the past? And what have you disqualified yourself from? Maybe today's the day to really make that step. Just take that next step and say, God, would you help me? God, silence all those voices that might disqualify myself, and would you qualify me and give me the passions and desires to truly make an impact in those around me? Because you can right now. See, I told you before, some of the people that have made the biggest impact in my life are those that have been younger than me. See, they might have disqualified themselves, but God has used them to make an impact in powerful ways, and he can do the same in your life. I've seen it time and time again. So Ignite Amplified, I'm going to pray, and then we're going to head on to the rest of our night. God, thank you so much for, God, just the ability to meet together, God, in all this, the chaos of this world. And God, I pray that we never close. God, we continue to be a community of Ignite and Amplified here at Journey of Faith, and we continue to meet, even though it might not be physically. God, you continue to knit us together and continue being a community here in the South Bay. So God, we just love you and we thank you for that. God, I just pray for realness tonight as we head into small groups. God, we just thank you for just your presence as always, God. And so, God, would you just put a desire in our hearts to truly make an impact to those around us? God, would you just silence all these voices of doubt that might disqualify us from being used by you? So, God, we just love you so much. In your name we pray. Amen.
Hey guys, we're gonna go into worship right now. I'm actually here with Joyful. There she is. We're social distance, we are safe, I promise. But we just wanted to worship with you guys together. We're gonna sing a song right now called Move. If you don't know it, look up the lyrics, read through them. They're so powerful just about how God moves in our lives. So as we sing through this, pray, read the lyrics.
Cause when you walk worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you.
This song has really powerful lyrics. It's just asking God to move within us. And I think in this time that we're in right now, there's a line that says, let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you. And it's the idea that we don't have to be in a building to worship. And I know that we've said that before, but worshiping like this is still worship as long as you take it as worship. And so I want to challenge you guys as we sing this last chorus to just pray for God to move in your life.
So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you.
Thank you so much for worshiping with us. You guys are the best.
Guys, thank you so much for worshiping with us. We love Tuesday nights, and we hope that you love them as well.
I'm so glad you guys are watching. Subscribe so that you never miss our program.
This is not the best part of the night. The best part of the night is what comes on right now. So join the Zoom after party.
It's a great way to find friends and get connected.
Yeah, you guys, the Zoom after party is literally my favorite thing. You guys crack me up without fail every single week.
The link should have already been sent to you. If not, you can find the meeting ID right there. See you soon.
You did so well.
See you soon.
Zoom, 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 zoom.